One of my all-time favorite moments in my career was when a hero of mine, Seth Godin, stood in front of 500 of his fans and asked me, from stage, to hold up my book, Fast Track Photographer. I was just a guy in his crowd, but in that moment, I felt known. I can still hear his voice when he said,
Dane, so you have your book?
I do.
Dane wrote a book about photography that's not really about photography. So if you get a chance to check out Dane's book, you should. There's only one of these.
Purple tag. Well, thank you.
So,
of course, as a fan of Seth and the author of the book he was describing pretty accurately, I was undeniably excited and humbled with his endorsement, not to mention when he gave me that really cool original copy of Purple Cow. But way more important than any momentary stroke or gift, in one line, he got what I was up to. You see, Seth understood that Fast Track was not about quick and easy. It was about something far more powerful than tips and tricks. It was a much bigger game. It was about finding efficiency by starting with first things, by starting with the artist over the art, by finding out who you are, the real creative force in the room. Of course, it wasn't about photography. It was about the one behind the camera, the photographer. It's you who the book was written about, and it is you who the book is written to. More important than the book, however, is the group of people you find yourself surrounded by, even as you hear my words. Go ahead, look around. I promise it won't be too awkward. It doesn't matter if you're sitting by one or two friends, or if you're in a room of 30 to 40. Numbers don't matter nearly as much as people think. Being known, though, and knowing somebody else, well, that matters a lot. It's my belief that you are what I think is the most important and least talked about subject in our industry. And it's you who I believe is our industry's future. So why in the world would that moment years ago now with Seth evolve into what I think is the most powerful growing force for photography, namely the very modest in size Better Together movement? Well, let's connect the dots together. First plot point. When anyone feels known in who they actually are, they become bigger than they were on their own. The real you, together with other people, is bigger than you by yourself. That's the big secret. Of course, everybody knows that who you are matters more than what you do. But it's tough to really go there until that who is known. But when you get the who right, the what you should go do becomes immediately more evident. Want to figure out what to do next with your photo business? Let yourself become known, warts and all, in the community you find yourself in. Okay, second plot point. In my grid, taking responsibility for who you are is an act of leadership. When you are transparent with others, especially when you're nervous about it, like right now, for some of you in the room, you are leading yourself with integrity. Regular Janes and Joes all over the country and the planet committed to becoming what they were made to become, and then supporting others around them to do the same. Now, this isn't some kumbaya community with empty flattery. I'm serious here. I'm talking about results-driven, fierce conversations based on, again, results, inspiring and catalyzing all around you to find their purpose and actualize it. Okay, third plot point. When you stand up, others will be encouraged and inspired to follow suit. It turns out that leadership is contagious. You don't have to worry about competition in this moment. There's only one you. You're fine to encourage others to be them. But the truth is, and this is the last plot point, we need leaders to take us to new places. On our own, it's easy to get discouraged. At least in my photo business, there isn't really an HR department to go to get some sort of support from. It's on us to create and lead what we need, which is each other. And that, my friends, is what Better Together is all about. Become yourself, see where you need to go, and then go there, together. Well, I'm hoping this sheds at least a little bit of light on why it is that Better Together spends so much of its time inefficiently recruiting and growing leaders. These aren't just any leaders. They're the artists, the ones who take a stand for their creations. They're the leaders who stand up when it's unpopular to do so that they have a chance to be ultimately respected. They are focused on, not just focused, they are focused and do what it takes to find a way to possibility. They are proponents of hope, and they're my heroes. The catch? Well, leadership is fragile. So much so that if we don't have leaders, I say we have no rudder. Collaboration simply requires it. So, want to be better at your creativity and your craft in the business of photography? I say our best shot at that is to be better together. And that begins with individuals standing up, with individuals leading. So it begins, my friends, with you. My invitation in the time you have remaining tonight is to have a no-holds-barred, knock-down, drag-out dialogue on what it would mean for you to lead, especially if you don't feel qualified. The leaders who have positions in your room right now, the people who are leading our local groups, they're there to help facilitate the conversation, but they're not there to do the heavy lifting. It's on you. The call is for you to talk out loud, to be real, to be candid, to be intelligent, to be positive, to be resourceful, to be honest, to be constructive for yourself and for the people around you. Really, the only question left is, will you? I can't wait to hear where your conversations go. Please let me know at Dane Sanders or on the Facebook Global Better Together wall. Thanks so much, you guys. So proud of you and all you're doing. We'll see you next month.